Because the culture here is a problem. Here parents will control their kids, to a major extent. Are they going for real education to Europe, or are they going in for freedom? That is a question, is there in the society.
So even like a special economic zone is not accepted from this, right?
Yeah. So special economic zone, see, when 2005 Special Economic Zone Act came, and the rules came in 2006, it came with a sunset clause. 15 years is what, if you look at China, special economic zones are there in even 1980s. We are almost 30 to 40 years behind China. Okay, 2006 this act came, and a government, income tax particularly, Income Tax Act 1961 came with amendment and gave 15 years tax exemption, 5-year, 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 3-5-year period. They give 100% deduction, 50% deduction, and eventually 2021 this sunset happened. Basically, income tax benefit for special economic zone units as well as developers went away. Right now, so that time there was a lot of argument. In fact, professionals like us had a lot of work whether they can migrate from a special economic zone to STPI. So STPI in fact is not giving that kind of benefits. It is right now acting as a body which just informs the government that this much software export is happening. So that's the only thing now if STPI is doing. The benefits are gone. So only right now the advantage being a SEZ unit or a developer is the GST benefit. So if you are a big IT company who is using a lot of IT software or IT hardwares, GST is exempted right now also. So for that benefit, whether you have to go through the SEZ Act comes with a lot of restrictions. So and the entry is restricted.
The biggest challenge is now the workforce is moving. They're moving from one location to other. So when it's moving from non-economic zone, so then you have big problems to solve. Because now even they're asking how many people are actually working in this. Moving out.
Yeah, whether that level of restriction is required, I don't think so. It can be done in a sense. See, now everything is in online and digital media. You being in the IT sector, you can also propose. This can be done in a single click. It should not be this level of complication is not required. When it was done, the SEZ Act was done, it is a zone outside India is what they teach us in the Act. So special economic zone is nothing but a duty-free delineated enclave from the Indian continent. So it is duty-free, it is delineated from the country so that it need to be treated as a separate place. Why? Because all benefits are being given. Right now, what benefit you are giving? You are giving only the GST benefit. For that, how much regulation is required? You need to have minimum regulation. That's all. So
But even now that strict regulation, for example, you must have boundaries and people must keep the laws. All these basic things are still required.
Still required and unwanted, I would say. And that is the place where a lot of arrogance comes from. I don't want to tell about government official, but for example, from security personnel. So security person, you are a large time entrepreneur. You are going into for some meeting. The security person will make sure that you get down from the vehicle, you signs there, and it's kind of it's kind of harassment. That is not required. In fact, couple of years back when I was working with a earlier company, some foreigner came. They said they heard the word techno park. So, and they saw this thing happening. They are getting down from the vehicle and signing the register. So, this guy asked, so this is much technology is there. Then right now also you are walking and going, and then what technological advancement have you done here? Yeah, that was a right question to be asked. But in fact, after that, Technopark also tried to be, friendly, and things are moving fast. I am not saying things are still, that way. Last 10 years back, things have improved. But yeah.
The IT companies, because they're constantly, you're expanding, you're moving out. This is a common scenario.
Yeah.
But when you are in a SES mode, this is a nightmare situation.
Yes. Yeah. So these things government has to look into, because now they came with this Desh Act. Desh Act is nothing but like planning board become Nidhi Ayog, this become Desh, SEZ is going to become Desh. So there are a lot of discussions happening, and finally things are a little stagnant there. They are saying in the same building you can have both SEZ as well as non-SEZ. So if that is going to come in, then in both can happen. Some people want SEZ floor, the developer can make it as an SEZ floor. If you want a non-SEZ floor, developer can make that way. Then what will happen to this all things, security, fencing, boundary checking, I don't know. So these things has to be deliberated with the stakeholders, which development commissioners are the person in charge of this SEZ in each state. They are conducting seminars, things are happening, but I don't know, if things move in right direction, this anarchy in the system has to be removed. Then things will be more smoother. So who is going to take any action, initiative on this, I don't know. But if somebody takes action, as you rightly point out, these issues has to be solved. Then only the entrepreneur can move faster. Yeah.
Because somebody who foresee the founders issue and solve this basic problem, because now it is going in parallel.
Correct.
So not actually, there is no link. You have to deal with it somehow.
So yeah, that is a sad situation for a country like India, who definitely wants more investment to come into India, definitely has the potential to grow, definitely has the employable youth working here. I have recently posted a job for an HR executive. You won't believe, in one day I got 150 resumes. 150 resume, neighboring district, Trivandrum, Kollam, Pathanamthitta, Ernakulam was not there, maybe one or another two district. 150, and you won't believe, the salary I offered was only 15,000 rupees, 10,000 to 15,000 rupees. 150 resumes. So what is the employability here? What is the unemployment levels here? So I quoted this example for nothing, but people, young crowd need job. So definitely investment has to come in. Infrastructure has to be created. People like you has to be there to move to entrepreneurship. If there is no entrepreneur, then these guys have to go out. And that's the reason. If the apartment which I stay, if I look at around 5 to 6 families, almost 8 family out of the 50 or 60 families, right now, whoever have done graduation, they are not there in India. They are moved out. They are either in Canada or in some place, not now. In the trend for Middle East has gone. It is somewhere in Europe or in Canada or in US. And I know they are not very wealthy well-off families. They have mortgaged their property and taken an education loan. And another problem, education loan comes with more interest than a housing loan. The education loan interest rate right now in market is 12 to 13%. Housing loan is 8 to 9%. What education are we promoting here? So you are going out, okay, you want the bank want to make money, that is different story. But I don't see a logic there. So these kids are going to study, of course. So and it is made in such a way that it is a mortgage loan. Your house is the parents' house is being mortgaged, and on that you are charging 13%. It's really scary. I won't send my kids like that because I don't want to be in debt, and they chill there in Canada. I won't do that.
Okay, so coming back to the financial side, so the IT, especially on the IT community, among that, their financial literacy. So how do you think that whether our youth are really good into it? Because I see many people, even they don't know how to file. Right, how to file their ITR, what Excel these components are. There are different rules. They don't know how these things. So at what age they really learn?
Yeah, but I will say last 5 years, income tax department has advanced, in a large way. Because if you look at the latest amendment in Income Tax Act, they say they don't want to promote savings anymore. So earlier it was a compulsory standard deduction, and up to 1.5 lakh you save, you get the 1.5 lakh deduction. Now in the new regime, they don't want to promote this savings. They say you spend up to 12 lakh, no problem, you enjoy. After that only you need to pay. So as you rightly pointed out, IT professionals or any other professional has had issues, But right now, things last 2 year, 3 year, if you look at, if I closely, as we, help in filings and all, we definitely see a lot of progress in that side. Because now a 10th standard student also can understand the system. The software is much advanced in that case, and people are slowly moving into self-filing. Unless you have a larger income and you need a tax audit for any professional with more than 75 lakh of income need a tax audit, or more than 50 lakh you can go for a presumptive taxation basis also you can go. So unless you have some kind of complication, or there is a capital gain which is coming, there is a house property issues, or any other special situation is not there, people are able to do filing on their own. But then also there is literacy issues are there. Definitely more professionals has to educate them what all are the avenues they have, whether they have to go in more credit. Because if you look at this Technopark area, this is the place where the largest number of credit cards are being used. So any young boy or girl who getting in the job, they will immediately get a credit card. So they will roll with that. The banks are very happy in this Karakundam side because they get n number of customers. And if you look at the vehicles being used, the two-wheelers being used, earlier less than a lakh vehicles, now all have moved into 3 to 4 lakh range, 3 to 5 lakh range. So the spending has gone, multi-folded because of this non-awareness of financial discipline. So,
and also the eating out culture. This kind of number of restaurants launched in city is exponentially grown.
Yeah. So we cannot tell them this is right, this is wrong. They will challenge you. So let's not get to that. But definitely financial discipline can help them in their future if they properly plan their investment things. If properly they have a good habit of saving, at least 1/3 of what they are getting, if they can save, definitely it will help them. Not whoever discussing this. Yeah.
I mean, for example, if you know that the countries like US, most of the people are living in debt because of the same credit card situation. Are we moving into same direction?
We are not yet there, but still, because we being a developing country, we have lot of things to progress as far as even for youngsters also. Definitely government has to bring in more thought process into the education system as such. Definitely 2-3 months back, Kerala government have passed the paved way for private universities in Kerala. So, but how far we can bring in more private universities to Kerala is a question. So I had a couple of friends of mine who tried to bring in some UK universities to Kerala. So the criteria is more than 10 acre of land and more than 1,50,000 square feet. So that will put together around 150 crore to 200 crore investment is required to bring in a private university into Kerala. Rough figures. So who will be ready to do this? So any landowner can try to do this with the 10 acre of land and has the capability. But then we have to look at the mindset and the colleges right now operating in the private sector. Teachers are struggling to get students. So whether these students, if a private university, suppose we take initiative and bring in Oxford here. So maybe Oxford has that name they will get. So maybe we get a 3rd grade or 4th grade university into Kerala. Whether the kids will go there or they still want to go out. Because the culture here is a problem. Here parents will control their kids, to a major extent. Are they going for real education to Europe or are they going in for freedom? That is a question, is there in the society.
Coming back to this financial literacy, especially in the tax filing side, now you said it's much more simplified, but it is not yet there for many majority of community. There still is for unknown because somebody is starting from college, they don't even know how to operate a bank account. All of a sudden they see a 25,000, 30,000 in the bank account, they don't know what to do it. And even now there is a lot of relaxation, but still again the saving, if you get past to some point, you may start earning more than maybe crossing that limit. You never know until you get a notice. Even a minor mistake, for example, capital gain, you are not mentioned, you will get notice. I mean, bypassing these things, there is no way you have to follow the compliances. I think that's where I think people like you come with your startup is going to help these founders. So what exactly that's your offering?
Yeah. So basically, we have discussed the experience which our over last 19-20 years we have gained. So our main focus is in helping people, helping startups, corporates in getting their compliance aligned. So our firm is Lexfins 360. So we handle law and finance, and we help companies and startups in streamlining their, simplifying their business and streamlining their taxes. So basically, we help any compliance issue can come up at any point of time. So we help them, handhold them into issues, and we take care of their compliance and finance and legal part, so that they don't have any tension. So our experienced professionals, chartered accountants, company secretaries, advocates, we help.
They work as a team.
We work as a team.
Okay.
And the major advantage which as a service recipient they will get is, we offer the same service as Big Fours give. We are into auditing, consulting, tax, and advisory. The same service, they go to a Big Four, they will get for 10 lakh. We will give for 25,000. So the cost advantage is the greatest advantage, and the turnaround time which we provide is 48 hours. If any query comes into our inbox, we reply within 2 days.
I think this is going to help the startup companies.
Definitely.
They don't have much investment at the initial stages, but there is a big chance they will miss out some compliance issues and fall into bigger fines later.
Bigger fines, yeah. So that's the core issue with the compliance. So the compliance is a small thing if it is done in time. On time, there is less cost, less issues. But if it is skipped and if there is a finding after some point of time, the major problem for startups and companies which are growing is that when there is an investor which is coming in, then there is a financial diligence is going to happen. There is a corporate, commercial, and legal due diligence which will happen. So at that point of time, they will dig out something which you have not done. So then you have to face the music. So whatever was your ask, they will deduct this compliance cost. Then only you will get that money. So that's where companies and entrepreneurs have to be careful, and that is exactly where we can weigh in and come in and add value to those companies by giving right advice at the right time.
Right. Another important aspect, I think, when I started as a founder, I faced because the contractor, because you don't have a law firm sitting beside you to review this, because being a technical background person, you don't understand what is inside.
Correct.
You will blindly accept it, but they later is going to bite you back.
Yeah.
So I think you are going to do the same thing for those.
Definitely. So we can be that partner who will sit beside you. We will have that private confidentiality agreement with whoever our clients are, and definitely we can handhold them, because the team is made in such a way that we can somebody can scrutinize it immediately. Somebody can review it quickly and then come back to you and say that these are the risks which you are going to face, these are the positives, these are the negatives. So those things can be weighed in less than a week's time, so that entrepreneur can face the investor, can face the contractor, whoever is on the other side with more confidence. We add value there. So that is what we can offer.
One of the biggest miss was the initial phase we faced as the NDAs. So because there are different levels, because when you're going for different level outside countries or different regulations, so the jurisdiction, a lot of things you never understand and you're going to face it.
And all those will be unilateral. So initial days of our career, our job was to make the unilateral NDAs mutual. So we will go in and see that, okay, so this is one-sided, so we will make it mutual. So this was the initial days of our career. So we are into this. So we know the subject. So we can definitely help in all those aspects as far as the corporate is concerned.
So other than this, what are other services you offer?
Yeah. So our team is capable of handling IPO, initial public offer. We do a specialized service called IPO readiness assessment. Whether your company is ready for going for public issue, whether being in a debt market, being in an equity market, we can study and say how you can improve your balance sheet, how you can improve your compliance side, how to reach that public forum in maybe next 5 to 10 years. So that is a specialized service we give. Apart from that, we have registered valuers empaneled with us. We can value the company if there is an investor coming in. Definitely, the due diligence is what everybody look for as an investor. If you are investing in a small startup or being a MSME, you will look at whether their compliances are in place. Definitely, that is a major area where almost all law firms are major takers are. Our firm being a multidisciplinary firm, having multidisciplinary practice, by the term multidisciplinary, I mean the accounting part of it, the legal part of it, and the secretarial part of it. So right now the firms in India are more focused on each area. So if you are an accountant, you limit to that. If you are a lawyer, you limit to that scope, and if you are a secretary, you limit to the secretarial practice. So that is where the big firms, be it Ernst & Young or KPMG, they bring in the value of multidisciplinary practice. So same path is what we are also trying to achieve. We have all these three together packed in one packet, so that the corporates will get the advantage with less cost. That is our aim. Yeah.
So you have the team in house, so the founder can approach only one point of contact.
One point of contact, yeah, and definitely with less cost, because large firms, they have the capability, but they comes with a bomb.
Their operating expense is much higher.
Yeah.
So since you are in a small
we are a small setup, so we can charge very less.
Yeah. So do you offer this online, or is it just now in person?
Yeah, we can cater to any companies anywhere in the world, because after COVID, you need not even have a physical meeting. Every meetings can happen through online. So we can provide from whichever country, and we have specialization in international taxation also. So definitely large investments are coming through in Singapore and Mauritius into India. If you look at the data for investment into India, Singapore and Mauritius is the largest infuser into India. So we also help companies setting up parent companies in Singapore and Mauritius, so that they have their efficient tax planning. So whenever there is a sale of the capital asset, they are least bothered about, they need not bother about the capital gain, because capital gains are exempted in these tax havens. So that kind of structuring also we advise. And another major practice area is our real estate, because almost last 15 to more than 15 years into real estate, we can bring value to the promoter on how to structure the joint development agreement, be it the shareholder agreement, be it the nitty-gritties in the stamp duty. We have expertise in those fields. We can advise. Advisory is our major bread and butter.
So you are helping these founders,
yes,
investors who come in to build up infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's act like a single window for all these.
Yes, all these issues. So unfortunately, our lawyers and professionals, they don't have that kind of mindset. Everything has to be combined into a report and to be presented to the businessmen. That kind of mentality is not there. Unfortunately, they will give in pieces. So you go for a title search report, they will give you a title search report. For encumbrance, you have to go to the village office. For location sketch, again you have to go there. For certain things have become online now. The entrepreneurs and businessmen are not aware of this. So we act as a single point of contact. If you are going to invest in 5-acre land, we will make this report in end-to-end, club together, and give it in one shot, so that you have that advantage, and definitely with a less cost when compared to big firms.